There's actually a way that you can experiment with the law of attraction in order to prove that it works. There's a book by an author named Pam Grout called E Squared, and there's 9 different experiments that you can actually try just to prove that the law of attraction does work. And I want to actually say a quote from a certain person in a movie called What the Bleep Do We Know by Dr. Joseph Dispenza, because he summed it all up, all the 9 different experiments that Pam Grout talks about in her book E Squared. He sums it up in a certain quote. So I'm going to later on say this quote, which would be the actual experiment that you can try yourself to prove that the law of attraction does work. But before I talk about the actual experiment, you just need to understand something called the field of potentiality, which is the invisible energy force that creates physical reality. And we are all connected to it, so our thoughts creates this sort of ripple effect, this wave that goes throughout the entire universe. The universe is filled with this invisible energy that's either a particle or a wave, and it conforms to our beliefs, our expectations, our observations, and it collapses into physical reality. Well, physicists call it the collapse of the wave. However, in order for us to create what we want to create in our life, to make a different collapse of the wave, if you will, you need to focus on what you want to see and not just on what you actually see in physical reality. And Pam Grout says that in order to do that, you need to stop being so powerfully attached to conventional reality. And she said in order to do that, you need to understand that in any given second, there's 400 billion bits of information that the brain has to process. And that's too much to process in 1 second. So the brain narrows it down to 2,000 bits of information per second, which means that there's only 1/2 of 1/millionth of a percent of what's out there. So just knowing that makes you realize what you see in the physical world is nothing compared to what's really out there, of all the infinite possibilities out there. So it's up to us to keep our nose in the right direction of our dreams, and we do that by focusing on what we want to see. So the experiment is this. In order to, you can apply any kind of law of attraction technique. You basically have to get down to that state, that feeling of already having what you want and feeling the joy of already having it. So once you do that, this is the experiment. You sort of speak to the universe. You say this. And now this is the quote from Dr. Joseph Dispenza from the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? "Show me a sign today that you paid attention to any one of these things that I created," meaning what he wants to create in his life, his desires, "and bring them in a way that I won't expect. So I'm as surprised at my ability to be able to experience these things and make it so that I have no doubt that it has come from you." Pam Grout and all of her 9 experiments is sort of similar to that. It's asking the universe within 48 hours to give you a clear sort of neon sign, if you will. Such a clear sign that you know that was not a coincidence and you're borderline creeped out by it. And the reason why I say that is because I actually applied this technique myself after I read her book. Less than 48 hours, I got, I think, 3 different signs. And I can tell you specifics, but I'll have to tell you a whole long backstory and I'll bore you with the details. But basically it really does seem like a crazy coincidence, but I know it wasn't. And when you do get that neon sign, that clear sign from the universe within 48 hours, it just solidifies your belief even more, inspires you to take even more action, and it broadens your belief system and reaffirms that there is more possibilities out there for you. So it's that simple. You simply have to just ask the universe to give you a clear sign within 48 hours. A sign that what you want to create in your life is already created. It's on its way. Thank you for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Thank you.